Kennedy on his chest. And finding Case. And Case has got room for a left foot shot here. 1-1. What an answer. Liverpool celebrate.
We've seen Jimmy Case's highlights on the Telly tributes now and then, but what about incidents that happen behind closed doors? Jimmy Case was no stranger to such drama. Let's see what old Jimmy Case hid from the world. James Robert Case, or Jimmy as he was known, was born on May 18, 1954. He is the Liverpool legend who, in a sense, thought he could very well make for himself a different career path compared to the other blokes playing football. With bustling activities as a nipper, playing with the local scouts, he was on the rampage by his mid-teens, already hardened from being one of the dockworkers' team's players. What a way to build character from formative years. But Jimmy wasn't just all brawn and tackles. While most lads his age were just messing around, Jimmy was showing a dedication most would not have believed. He apprenticed as an electrician, working a full day's shift before squeezing in training with Liverpool mornings and nights. That kind of work ethic is what made him invaluable to Bob Paisley's amazing team. They called him the Iron Fist, alongside Graeme Souness. But Jimmy was more than just a tackler. He was a visionary strategist, albeit an unsung one, who, in pulling the strings, let Liverpool dominate. He won trophies at Liverpool, including the FA Cup, but there's a whisper of a different tale, one that's hardly spoken. It just so happened that Jimmy also took a bit of a, well, let's say, liking to the pub. And not just to toast a hard-fought victory, though, let's be honest. Who wouldn't want to celebrate by hoisting a cup high into the air? In some circles, there's even a rumour that this particular liking may have had something to do with his eventual exit from Liverpool. Now really, that a legend of a man Jimmy Case was fighting the bottle? It seems just about a million miles apart from credible, doesn't it? Hell, there are of course two sides to every story. Was it simply a passion for the drink that helped maintain Jimmy through his sensational career with the Reds? Let's move this along and see just how many of the facts behind the legend stack up, and how he prosperously ventured into life. Somewhere in life after Liverpool shows that there is more than what meets the eye. So buckle up, football fans, because we're about to go deep in the search for the full story on Jimmy Case. Sometimes, though, the beautiful game spills over into less than beautiful territory. Like this story, for example. A night celebration for Liverpool giants, Jimmy Case and Ray Kennedy goes wrong after a derby win over Everton. We have a cutting from years ago that describes a late-night dust-up at the Bryn Howell Hotel in Llangollen, North Wales. Both Case and Kennedy were fined a good amount of 150 quid each, indeed a hefty sum in those times, for having injured the hotel owners, the Lloyds. Thus, it makes people wonder, was Jimmy Case a victim of unfortunate circumstances, or did he actually instigate his role too much in the mayhem? Here, the facts are slightly hazy. According to the report, there was kicking and throwing bar chairs, not just an argument, but a proper live fist fight. Did Jimmy charge in, heart in mouth, the adrenaline and the drinks from the celebrations apparently overwhelming him? The really bad game was given as the provocation after all. Or was he really just there, swept up by the moment, the minor character in this boozy drama? The question must be asked then, who actually initiated the fisticuffs with the Lloyds to begin with? Was it Jimmy's blazing sense of volition that thrust the first haymaker into the centre of hostilities, or had he come into the dissension only after Kennedy landed the first blow? Unfortunately, this old clipping of the newspaper leaves us hanging for that juicy bit of information. One thing's for certain, Jimmy Case's night of celebrating turned into a full-blown brawl. Instigator or participant, that remains a mystery locked away in the confines of that long-ago Welsh hotel room. But hey, that's the beauty of the beautiful game, isn't it? It keeps us guessing on and off the pitch. But it does tell more that Jimmy was forced to leave Liverpool not only because he had a liking for the pub. The more sagacious manager in the person of Bob Paisley knew the bigger picture, for he knew the reputation he was handling, a player with an indelible attachment to his hometown of Liverpool. Paisley was appalled that the added factors, coupled with the chance of Jimmy actually taking a drink, would miserably lead him to the fruit of success. So, while the pub incident might have been the last straw, this wasn't the only reason Jimmy left. In fact, it was an opportunity for him to move in new directions. And did he ever? In the summer of 1981, Through a transfer deal, Jimmy moved on to Brighton and Hove Albion, something many doubted he would come through, but of course, he proved everybody wrong. He was a hero at the Goldstone Ground. Remember that FA Cup run in 1983, where Brighton went to the final for the first time ever? Yep, Jimmy had a major role in it, scoring the tying goal in the replay of the semi-final against Sheffield Wednesday. He even netted in the quarter and semi-finals. That spirit and skill didn't disappear after the heartbreaking final, though. He was with the Seagulls through the dismal season of their relegation and led them to yet another FA Cup with Liverpool the following year. Talk about loyalty. An A-list big-game scorer, Jimmy found the net in both quarter and semi-final FA Cup matches that season. Results eventually went against Brighton in that final, which they drew 2-2 and lost the replay 4-0, but the impressions made by Jimmy will never be forgotten among the fans. But Jimmy's journey doesn't end on the south coast. Southampton came calling in 1985, and guess what? He very quickly became a favourite there too. Just imagine a player who is so respected that he goes from being the last-ditch signing of one manager to being named captain by his successor. That's exactly what happened with Jimmy at the Dell. Perhaps he never lifted another trophy there, but his leadership and his talents shone so obviously. Who can forget that epic FA Cup semi-final against his old club Liverpool at the Dell? Because he almost made history by playing 3 finals with 3 different teams. Speaking of which, Jimmy was found mentoring young talents at Southampton, including Matthew Le Tissier and Alan Shearer. He proved his worth throughout his playing time for the team, surpassing more than 6 years at Southampton. He did not win any major titles for them, but he was considered a crucial part of their team. Then he had a surprise transfer to Bournemouth in 1991. Am I glad it wasn't? The fans at Southampton would say it's no good that the talisman has left. One more thing, even established hands can get caught in the whirl of transfers. Jimmy played 40 league games in the 1991-92 season, marking his debut in the 3rd division, a level he had never played at in his career. After one season with Bournemouth, he rejoined his former Blackpool boss McMahon, this time at Halifax Town with club manager John McGrath and assistant manager Frank Worthington. Again, another brief stay of 6 months before joining Wrexham. He helped them to gain promotion from Division 3 at the end of the 1992-93 season, while Halifax slumped into the GM Vauxhall Conference. The ability to keep performing well, even in the lower leagues, showed his indomitable quality of talent and determination. There were darker moments in Jimmy's journey. Not a man unknown for his love of the pub, in 1 or 2 instances, to his detriment. The key point, though, is that he faced those challenges head-on. Over time, he managed to curb such drinking habits, showing the same grit and determination off the pitch as on it. That he conquers such personal battles, his legend, as though the football itself was not enough, is certified that he was more than just a footballer. He is a fighter. Back in Brighton, Jimmy was a player coach at first in December 1993 and became manager in November 1995, stepping into a void left by Liam Brady. He was still playing professionally and, aged 41, was the oldest outfielder registered with any Premier League or Football League club. The only player older than him was goalkeeper Peter Shilton, who was 46. Shilton made no competitive appearance that season at all, leaving Jimmy the oldest active senior player in England during that campaign. He finally announced his retirement from playing on November 10, 1995. But the footballer Jimmy Case had not finished in his inspiring ways. After much later playing in his taking-over role, he became Bashley's then manager when they played their non-league footing in the New Forest, just further down the road from Bournemouth. He became virtually a regular member, still playing of the Veterans Players Circuit, and worked for a time as a summary man on matches for Radio Hampshire and BBC Radio Merseyside. In devotion to the service, he continues to contribute commentaries on the game he loves. Jimmy's career had made a complete circle where he started studio work with Liverpool's TV channel, LFC TV. In 2007, Jimmy made the move and joined 3 others travelling around the UK and Ireland for the 30th anniversary celebrations and commiserations of the finals against Borussia Mönchengladbach in the 1977 Liverpool European Cup. Accompanying the goal scorer Tommy Smith and record show player Ian Callaghan is Welsh defender Joey Jones, with the shows tremendously reviewed by both young and old alike, showing that the big players of old that made the club a superb success remain in the public eye. In 2009, he was installed as the official mascot of the Liverpool Legends autograph and memorabilia group and is always at hand for their Meet the Legends events. His 2014 penned autobiography, Hard Case, is a no-holds-barred insight into the life of a true football legend. A die-hard must-read for any ardent football lover keen on knowing the life of a Liverpool legend beyond the shadow of Anfield, creating his own way. Over and above tales of silverware, the true story of Jimmy Case is one of resilience against odds, mounting comebacks, and repeatedly showing his skill and heart. Even at times that are difficult, it makes one look further into the obvious and appreciate some other silent heroes who make the game truly beautiful. So, the next time you hear about a legend, remember Jimmy Case, the unseen hero who forced his way onto the scene. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to like and subscribe for more football icon stories.